While European politicians throw a massive parade celebrating their new energy security shield and cheering about cutting off eastern pipelines, they are completely ignoring the physical reality on the ground. Down in Greece, engineers just fired up a massive network of 70-bar gas turbine compressors. They are literally reversing physics, forcing billions of cubic meters of natural gas uphill against gravity, grinding through the brutal continental slope of the Balkans. By doing this, they've quietly transformed the entire Eastern European steel pipeline grid into their own private, concrete tollbooth. Wait a minute. Do you really think your skyrocketing winter heating bills are just driven by global supply and demand? Or are you paying an invisible toll to keep these Greek mechanical beasts running? Drop your thoughts down in the comment. Welcome to Energy Axis Intel. I'm Miwa. Look, everyone is obsessed with the politics, the treaties, and the grand diplomatic press conferences. But they are completely missing the concrete, the heavy steel, and the pipeline pressure. Remember our rule: the elite wash the concrete. Real power isn't debated in the polished halls of Brussels. It is forced through high-carbon steel and massive industrial valves. The actual truth of Europe's energy survival lies hidden inside the gigantic LNG regasification chambers anchored right off the Greek port of Alexandria. Down there, at a brutal negative 162 degrees Celsius, raw thermodynamics dictate the physical flow of billions of dollars. And whoever controls this extreme thermal conversion ultimately holds the financial throat of an entire continent. Let's look at what the elites in Brussels are actually selling you. If you listen to the press conferences, they call the vertical gas corridor the ultimate European savior. They paint this beautiful, frictionless picture, a magical energy shield where natural gas just freely flows from the warm ports of Athens, all the way up through the Balkans, straight into the freezing winters of Budapest and Kiev. All powered by what? European solidarity. They stand in front of these shiny, high-tech maps with massive blue arrows pointing north, telling the public that true energy independence is finally here. No more reliance on those old eastern pipelines. Just a seamless, unified grid delivering cheap, abundant power to keep the lights on and the heavy industries running. It sounds absolutely perfect on paper. The politicians get their applause, the diplomats sign their multi-billion-dollar treaties, and the public goes back to sleep thinking the winter crisis is permanently solved. But wait a minute. Let's look at the physical reality. Do you really think billions of cubic meters of highly pressurized natural gas just magically glide up a topographic map because a politician drew a blue arrow on it? They talk about this corridor like it's a digital bank transfer, a simple push of a button on a keyboard. They completely ignore the raw, brutal mechanical force required to actually move that physical mass across a jagged continent. There is no frictionless flow here. There is only steel, extreme thermodynamics, and heavy mechanical violence. And someone has to pay for every single ounce of that kinetic energy. Let's look at the physical reality. Natural gas doesn't flow uphill just because a group of politicians signed a piece of paper. For half a century, gravity and natural pressure pulled gas down from the north into the Balkans. To reverse that flow, you literally have to break the laws of nature. You have to use brutal, uncompromising mechanical force. Let's start at the beginning. The FSRU vessels anchored off the coast of Alexandria. Down in the hulls of these massive ships, we are dealing with liquefied natural gas stored at a terrifying negative 162 degrees Celsius. At that extreme temperature, it is a dense, dormant liquid. To wake it up, engineers don't use magic. They force millions of gallons of the relatively warm Aegean seawater through massive titanium heat exchangers. When that super-chilled liquid hits the thermal shock of the seawater, it violently boils. It undergoes a massive state change, instantly expanding its volume by 600 times. But thermal expansion alone isn't enough. It needs kinetic momentum. This is where the compressor stations take over. These are monstrous, industrial gas turbines that roar with the raw horsepower of a commercial jet engine. They grab that expanding volume of gas and mercilessly cram it into a network of 32-inch high-carbon steel pipes. Let's do the math on the pressure. They are squeezing this gas to a staggering 70 bars. To give you a real sense of scale, that is the exact same crushing physical pressure a steel submarine experiences when it dives 700 meters deep into the ocean. Now, imagine containing that explosive, compressed force inside a steel tube, and then using it to violently plow through thousands of kilometers of jagged, rocky mountain terrain. They are fighting gravity every single inch of the way up the continental slope into Bulgaria, Romania, and beyond. The politicians like to call it an energy shield. But to an engineer, this is just raw, brutal physical coercion. You are forcing the natural world to run backward, and that requires an astronomical amount of mechanical violence. Now, let's look at who actually paid for all this brutal physical violence. Because concrete and high-carbon steel aren't free. The true structure of power is written in cash flow. They call it energy independence, but the engineering requires billions. Specifically, capital expenditure. Your money. Millions of euros in public EU grants and taxpayer-backed loans were channeled into this infrastructure. Millions of tons of reinforced concrete were poured into the ground, and thousands of kilometers of specialized 32-inch high-carbon steel pipelines for the IGB interconnector. All underwritten by your contributions to the European budget. We, the public, paid to establish the foundational bedrock. We absorbed the geological risk of drilling through mountains and the political risk of crossing international borders. But here's where the illusion fractures. Once that steel is locked in place, the keys are handed over. Look closely at who operates this independent shield. Companies like Defy and Gastrade, controlled by Greek national interests, partnered with powerful, opaque private equity funds based in Athens and London. They didn't assume the foundational risk, but they walked in and took full operational command. They didn't build the pipeline, but they now hold the only functioning digital master key to the primary flow valve. They own the operating software. They own the metering stations. This is the ultimate CAPEX trap. The public absorbs the long-term risk of construction, while a private elite captures the long-term cash flow from the toll. You didn't build an energy shield. You built a private infrastructure asset paid for by the public. Wait a minute. Let's look at the physical reality of keeping this machine alive. If CAPEX is buying the beast, operating expenditure, or OPEX, is the blood required to keep its heart beating. And this specific beast has a voracious appetite. Moving billions of cubic meters of gas north is an act of violent kinetic defiance against gravity and geography. The friction alone inside those thousands of kilometers of 32-inch high-carbon steel pipes generates immense thermal resistance. To fight that resistance and maintain that crucial, crushing 70-bar pressure along the Balkan slope, the compressor stations can never sleep. And here is the ruthless mechanical irony. How do you power those monstrous, jet engine-style turbines? You don't plug them into a standard grid. You bleed off and burn the very product you are trying to deliver. It is a self-consuming machine. Every bar of pressure added to the line requires a set percentage of that natural gas to be diverted from the payload, injected into the combustion chamber, and vaporized for kinetic energy. Every kilometer the gas moves north, a portion of the asset literally disappears into heat and exhaust to move the rest. Furthermore, the environment is trying to reclaim this infrastructure every second. The heat exchangers and the entire plumbing system of the FSRU anchored off Alexandroupolis are submerged in high salinity Aegean seawater. This isn't just water. It's an electrolyte bath facilitating accelerated electrochemical corrosion. Coatings fail, specialized alloys are attacked, and sacrificial anodes must be replaced constantly to prevent catastrophic structural failure. OPEX on a reversal project like this isn't just maintenance. It's a relentless financial drain. A black hole that bleeds cash for every single ounce of mechanical coercion required to force nature to run backward. When that natural gas finally reaches your home in Budapest or Bucharest, after violently fighting gravity and thermodynamic resistance across thousands of kilometers, don't be naive. You aren't just paying for a resource. Every single euro added to your skyrocketing winter heating bill isn't driven by some abstract market solidarity or simple supply and demand. You are paying for mechanical coercion. You are paying for the brutal energy required to violently boil negative 162-degree liquid LNG using warm seawater in Alexandropolis. You are paying the immense electricity bill for those monstrous 70-bar jet engine turbines to compress that gas and smash it through steel pipes all day and night. You are paying for the saturation divers scraping barnacles and welding zinc anodes underwater on the FSRU hull every month. And yes, you are paying the invisible operational expenditure and the very real throughput fee demanded by the Greek operators for every cubic meter they forced northward. So the next time you feel the financial squeeze in Nuyen or letter 1E7 that curse the market, think about that physical infrastructure. Think about the mechanical violence. Think about the silent tolls. You aren't buying the idealized energy shield of a political promise. You are paying for the cold, unfeeling concrete and high-carbon steel that makes the machine run. And that machine doesn't care about your wallet. Let's look at the financial architecture that turns this physical reality into a profit engine for the apex predators. Wait. How can you possibly benefit from this machine, rather than just being devoured by it? Wait a minute. Let's pause the financial panic. Because where you see destruction, the elite see construction. Specifically, the construction of a profit engine. Let's look at the actual architecture of who is getting rich from this mechanical chaos. Forget the solidarity, these are the apex predators of the energy world. I'm talking about the international LNG arbitrage traders and the Greek midstream operators who actually hold the operational. While public taxpayer funds bore the initial structural risk of building the concrete foundation, these private entities stepped in and took command of the revenue stream. They didn't build the pipeline, but they now own the toll booth. And here is the true mechanical genius. They aren't just selling you gas. They are weaponizing pipeline pressure and the brutal dynamics of the continental slope. They have unlocked a specific mechanism of ground arbitrage. Utilizing the immense 70-bar kinetic force generated by the Greek compressor stations, they don't just push gas north for delivery. They force massive, inexpensive volumes of summer-priced LNG into the enormous, ancient underground cavern storage fields of Ukraine. They literally cram billions of cubic meters of highly compressed acid into hollowed-out stone deep beneath the earth. They lock the valves. And they wait. While your winter heating bill skyrockets, they simply letter 1E3 then release the valve. They extract the stored gas at 3 times the original summer purchase price, capitalizing on a manufactured thermal difference. This isn't a strategy, it's a cold, mechanical wealth extraction model. So the smart solution is clear. Don't waste your energy Nuyen or letter 1E7 accursing the invisible market. Understand the infrastructure. Think like a chief engineer. Think about how you can own the machine. If the elite own the concrete toll plaza, you need to buy shares in the toll booth. Don't be the victim. Be the asset owner. Pivot your capital away from consumption and toward midstream energy ETFs or equity in the specific corporations that own the FSRU vessels and regasification technology. Understand, those who control the thermodynamic pressure and operational flow of natural gas ultimately control the accumulation of wealth. Let's look at the physical reality. Geography is just a rough draft on a map. Diplomatic treaties are ink on paper. True, permanent strategic power belongs solely to the entity that owns the massive steel compression machines and the master hydraulic pressure valves. Remember our core rule, the elite wash the concrete. In the new energy landscape of Europe, Forget about the political speeches in Brussels or the diplomatic summit. The Greek nation has quietly seized the keys to the entire Balkan and Central European grid, not with votes, but with thermodynamics. By controlling the exact molecular transition of LNG from -162 degrees Celsius back into highly pressurized 70 bar kinetic energy, Athens is now the undisputed gatekeeper of physical flow. This is not a political negotiation. This is raw mechanical coercion. And they now decide who gets power, and more importantly, at what kinetic cost. So, here is a question for you. Don't look at the abstract market price. Look at the infrastructure. In a world of accelerating physical supply shock, what strategic mechanical asset would you rather own? A diversified portfolio of digital stocks, or the operating master software and the main metering station for a multi-billion-dollar transcontinental pipeline junction? Let's do the math. One can be erased by a mouse click. The other forces entire industries to pay a daily kinetic toll in high-carbon steel. Which one do you believe will truly generate consistent, reliable cash flow when the physical concrete becomes the ultimate weapon? Let me know what mechanical component you are prioritizing down in the comments. As always, keep your mind open, stay curious, and keep watching the physical reality. Don't listen to the noise of the news cycle. Look at the concrete. Amiwa. Welcome to Energy Axis Intel. I'll see you in the next one.